Hello guys, welcome. No Victoria 3 today. No, I think I've seen enough for now. I'm gonna wait for some updates to the game, which they no doubt will release in the coming month or so. Boring? I don't know. It feels like I would much rather play Crusader Kings or even Stellaris, even though currently Stellaris is just something totally different than what it was when they released it. But still, I do think it needs a lot of work. Just isn't as interesting as I hoped. But who knows? I'm sure mods will fix it if they don't. So I think the countdown is almost done. Yep, I'll just shut it off. Let's continue. It's gonna take a minute to load up anyway. I have to see when people playing, but I never played Victoria 3. It's boring for me. Yeah, I didn't actually enjoy it much myself. But I never played Paradox games on stream before, and I do think it attracts a different kind of audience, because there are people who can watch boring gameplay of EU4 for hours on end and they enjoy it, which is fine if they like it. But if I don't like playing something, I have trouble motivating myself to play it, and Vicky 3 was not a long play. I was just taking a look at it, so I have no obligations to it. Just one more turn, yeah. So I think what I wanted to say is, like, for example, Caesar. Caesar is a staple of the channel, and many people who follow the channel are mostly interested in Caesar, or they found the channel as a Caesar 3 channel. And it's a very different sort of game, because it's usually pretty, like, not action-packed, but you are always doing something interesting in terms of city development or any myriad of things, combat included. But yeah. Hey Frankie, Victoria shows the engine can do for EU5. Yeah, I guess you can think of it like that. But what I wanted to say, Paradox games are usually having a long wind down period of nothing interesting happening. If you are not into, like, micromanaging the economical aspect of all the industries, which I cannot even do very well, then I don't think it's very interesting to watch, at least in my hands. And I think, like, people who are interested in Caesar, there is probably very minimal overlap in terms of other people who like to watch Paradox games. So it's not like if I was only Caesar channel and then I suddenly started playing something like Age of Empires, I'm sure there is an overlap there, but not with Paradox games. I think they have specific audiences. Same thing, Paradox people probably don't like Caesar that much. Yeah, it's very much not focused on military aspect, and its military aspect is very minimalistic. There is no logistics as well, people just teleport around the map to the front lines. I play Civ 6 at the moment, dark days of indoor activities are coming. It's relaxing to see, huh? Okay. Alright, so KCD, we are gonna do the main quest. Just gonna go this way. Oh no. I kinda wish we could talk to the masons to get the stone for Přibyslavec, because you'll need to do it. Also, do we have any things to sell? No. Maybe it's too early for the masons. Winter is coming, we should all do heat the homes. Yeah. pretty sure we should go north. I'm gonna check out the map though, because... yeah, okay, it's above Rover now. Which is further up this way. We have a bunch of side quests as well, which need to be done. But this one is timed, I think, the main one. That's why we are going after it immediately. So I don't want to lose it. Also, something that happened to me before is I killed the guy who I'm not supposed to kill in one shot because my damage was just too high and I hit him in the head. So we need to be careful about that. Maybe it's better to just follow him instead of trying to hit him to knock him off his horse. You'll see what I mean in a second. This way? Come on. It's probably not gonna happen. Like this. I'm so bad at life today, constantly falling from the horse. Can you get up? Yeah. Yeah, just constantly falling. We are very close to it though. It's gonna be the place you are looking for nearby. Oh yeah.
Good God, what a bloody mess. Someone was wounded here. It looks like another person dragged him off. Maybe I'm on the right track. Charcoal grenades. Someone must have seen or heard something.
Spare the dog. It's my dog. It's following me around. Right. It's evening. I'm gonna have to sleep. Which is bad, since I don't really have food. They might have also kicked me off the bed, because this is not my bed. Oh, looks like they don't care. Yeah, I do have a dog. I don't have anything to give him now. I need to do some hunting, which I don't want to do right now. Buy him something in the town, maybe. Okay, nourishment and down a whole bunch. Just shuffle the window. It always reshuffles itself whenever I go to sleep. It's not very good. Cannot eat from the cattle. We are going to go and try to look for something edible in the forest. There might be something.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
Oh. Okay, managed to get one. Come on.
Look what I've
I've got for you. You'll love them.
Just ran off. Oh, gonna have to cook it and eat it also. Okay, just killed another one. I cannot even sell that yet. Maybe later. Need to praise him.
Good boy. That's my boy.
So slow. It's alright. I need to cook it, eat a little bit of it, wait, and then stash it on the horse. Cook item. I'm gonna have to cook it in 2 batches, because it's 2 animals worth of food. Does it deplete your energy? Yes, it does. It's fine. Okay, we stashed it. Let's wait a little bit. So again, it reshuffles my whole setup. It's great. Now you need to take a look if you can talk to someone. This guy.
My respects to you.
What happened at the crossroads?
What?
Okay, it should be pretty simple to convince this guy.
I'm a friend of his.
Who?
That fellow you brought here. I need to find him. I have to help him. I owe it to him, you see.
I don't know nothing, and I haven't seen nothing. If you want to know something about it, just ask Boyar. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Who is this Borya?
Boyar cracks the whip around here. You'll recognize him by his red cap.
Thank you.
So it's their foreman. It's fine.
Farewell.
Now, do they have water bucket? Doesn't seem like it. And we'll need to find that guy, and he's nowhere in sight. Also, there is a hut there. Let's check it out.
I'm honored that you should come to me. Good luck to you.
Cook it and a red cap. Do they have mega people in these nests? Not sure what you mean, but it's supposed to be one of their charcoal burners, but he's probably their foreman or overseer. Mixture of 2 sentences. Yeah. It's alright. It's gonna be... He's gonna be somewhere around here, just... Maybe the camp is spread out more than I thought. Red camp mega people. Yeah. I don't think this is an ally. Nor is it Murica, so... I doubt it. Just someone flamboyant. Yeah, there are more buildings in here. Oh, he's gonna be in there, I think. Now I just need to find the guy with the red cap. I could try to pick this lock. If he's gonna catch me, it's gonna be terrible though. Really don't want to murder people. So bad. Okay, it worked out.
Who are you?
Never mind that. I've come to help you.
Thank God. I thought I'd breathe my last here. Lucky for me, my guardian angel comes bursting through the door.
I'm no angel, so you'll have to answer a few questions before you get my help.
Ah, well. I knew it wouldn't be that easy.
Who is it you work for? Who did the wagon belong to?
To Menhart. He's some kind of merchant who hired me for protection. But that's all I know.
And where's this Menhart disappeared off to?
No idea. I blacked out after the attack. Only came to my senses once I got here. I don't even know where here is.
Who ambushed that wagon?
A knight. He's been following us for a while.
And where did he go?
I don't know. I got a beating, and then I passed out.
Do you know what you were carrying in that wagon?
I never asked Menhart that.
Can I see your wound?
Are you a quack?
Sort of. That's a deep wound to the flank and you're still losing blood. You need to staunch it.
Will you help me?
I can try. Tell me more about the night.
Oh, it crashed. Wonderful. I don't think I have a save. Should have used the saber snaps, but I didn't realize that we would have this again. Okay. It's gonna take ages to load it up again. This is so bad. It's gonna push me back all the way to Radzik again. At least we know in which hut he is, so I'm just gonna go and unlock it right away, I think. Still doesn't make it suck any less. Gonna probably have to use the saber snaps just to make sure it doesn't crash again. So there was supposed to be a cinematic, but sometimes it's a little bit jank.
Yeah.
Good God, what a bloody mess. Someone was wounded here. This way.
Yeah.
Charcoal burners. Someone must have seen or heard something.
Yeah.
It's time to save the game so that it doesn't crash on me again.
Who are you?
Okay, skip it.
Do as I say. Don't. Who? Who? Do you? Can I can try. Tell me more.
No, it's gonna crash again. Probably not.
Where's the coin?
What? What coin?
I will not repeat the question.
I don't know about any coin. I swear.
Ah! Damn it! Where are those sacks you took from the wagon?
Sacks! They're behind the shed.
That's him. That's got to be that knight.
Is that all? Did you take anything else?
Fuck! Stop! Stop right there!
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, where did he go off to?
Yeah.
I have no idea if he followed us.
Well, I suppose it doesn't matter as long as he goes back to the Sasau.
Yeah, you can catch him, but you would kill him most likely with a single hit, so it's better if you just go to Sasau.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
took some damage from that, which is not great. You have to sleep it over. Fritz and Matthew, we could offer them job.
Hey!
I need a helping hand. I'm the bailiff of Pribyslavitz now, and...
Bailiff, eh? Well, your worship, I'd love to help. Only I've got my own problems to deal with.
About your brawl with Elias. Your best friend settled the matter.
You're serious?
Absolutely. All you have to do is go to him and promise you'll pay the debt somehow.
We won't forget this. On my honor. Thanks.
I need a help.
Bailiff, eh?
Good luck then.
Question keeper.
Good day to you.
Where do I...
No.
The second door. Good luck to you.
Look what I've got. You'll love...
There. Satisfied?
Good... That's...
Okay. Let's give it a couple of hours again.
I'd like a beer.
Good day to you. Farewell.
Oh, there he is.
Who are you? Why did you ambush that wagon?
No doubt you have many questions.
I certainly do.
We will talk. Not here, however. The wolves have ears. Let's meet at the pond after sunset. You'll find me waiting by the big village.
I'll be there.
I will expect you.
Oh, after dark again? I just slept. Okay. Guess you'll take a bath then.
Make it.
I'd like to...
So what are you? As you.
Fine.
I'm sure. Take care.
Oh, we have the rest of the day. There are some side questions as well, still to be done. Not that any of it is really enticing, but need to pass the time somehow. I'm gonna be right back. Take a short break. It's gonna be a minute. Okay, back. So yeah, right, we have some side quests. First thing I'm gonna do is talk to the guy in charge of the bandit problem. You've wiped out a camp. Then you should pick up the crown. Okay, maybe you can do that now actually. Since that's here. I think I haven't picked it up yet. Might have. Just have no idea. This guy.
Jesus Christ.
What about the crown? Is it finished?
I'm a man of my word. Of course it's finished. Here you have it. Thank the Lord you found that Moldavite. It wouldn't be the same without it. Farewell. There.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I've taken care of that camp.
Oh, yes? And what proof might you have of that?
Here it is.
Very well. Here's your reward. Take care now.
I have some, well, trophies.
Let's have them. Those scoundrels deserved it. May the Lord watch over you.
Yeah.
Need to talk to Zamola about the skull we found.
I'm looking for Leszek. Have you seen him? That skull was a fake, and I'd like to have a word with him about it.
Well, you won't be seeing him now. I put some pressure on him, and he admitted it was all his doing.
He confessed to everything. Why would he do that?
I gave him no choice. He told me he did it, and said he was going to disappear quick before you got to him.
And you just let him go?
He slipped out of my clutches and I couldn't catch up with him. He's most likely in Kuttenberg by now.
Did you tell anyone about it?
Of course. I went and reported it right away. But I don't know what they're going to do about it.
My respects.
I looked around, and the stone that fell on that man is different from the rest.
Yes, it's very poor. But we have to work with what we've got. We didn't have anything else, and we couldn't wait for more.
That's not what I meant. It's not the same kind of stone that came from Talmberg. Someone must have switched it.
But why would anyone do that?
Well, maybe he was stealing new stone and replacing it with old stuff. Or to sabotage the construction, I don't know.
But the carriage never moved. It rained a lot and we couldn't get any work done, or we'd have been up to our ankles in mud.
So, someone had to take it out without being seen.
That huge piece of rock. It would take a few strong men to shift something that size. I know you're trying to help, but someone would have noticed. It couldn't be done without anyone seeing it.
The skull is a fake. Someone fixed horns on a human skull.
But where would they get a human skull? And why would they do it?
Maybe to frighten the workers? Raise the price?
But that wouldn't help anyone. It had to be some idiot's idea of a prank. An idiot who was nearly responsible for getting a man killed.
I think I did it wrong. There is an outcome where you can expose the culprit. Well, probably won't happen now. Which is fine. For a matter of fact, I know where the guy is supposed to be hiding. Well, check, but can you even find him this way? I suppose could do it. It's in here. There's supposed to be a mill. This building. Can open it up, just see what's there, if it's anything relevant. Probably isn't. No. Well, since he's not here, I think we just flopped on that quest. It's fine. Need to meet with the knight in the evening by the pond, which the pond is somewhere here. Your horse looks Spanish today, does he? Yeah, I guess, a little bit. I think this is the best looking comparison, so kinda like this one. Let's take a look what the game says you're supposed to be on. Right here, just need to wait until evening, so I'll just advance the time.
So here I am. What do you have to tell me?
I brought you here because I did not want to cause an alarm at the tavern. I'm very sorry, but you made a mistake coming here alone. And it will be your last.
Wait!
You wish to make your peace with God? Very well. But be quick.
You were lucky at our first encounter you had a good horse at hand. But now I see you for what you are. You're old and slow.
Ha! You have some courage, boy, and you do not seem such a fool as the others. Maybe you can be of use to me. So, what would you like to tell me about your little plot? I'm most keen to find out where your workshop might be.
I don't think we understand each other.
Well, that is disappointing. For you.
I've got nothing whatsoever to do with those counterfeiters.
No? So why then are you following me?
Because I'm investigating the counterfeiters in the name of the royal hetman, Sir Radzik Kobyla.
Radzik Kobyla? Uh-huh. Now this grows interesting. I too am here on a higher calling, and also in pursuit of the counterfeiters. My name is Ulrich. It is true our meeting has not begun well. But if it is the truth that you are sent by Kobyla, then we can assist each other.
What do you mean?
I found out many things, but there are still questions I cannot answer. And the last man who knew anything is now dead.
What man was that?
Mainhard, the merchant from Passau. Listen, I will explain everything to you. But first, I need you to do something for me.
Oh, really?
You will introduce me to a certain person, and I will tell you everything I've learned.
Who do you mean?
Master Tobias Pfeiffer. If you truly serve Sir Radzik, then you must know him.
I think I know who you mean. What do you want him for?
I have here a written confession which tells how those forgeries are made. But I do not understand such technical matters. Master Pfeiffer, however...
We'll definitely be able to make sense of it. And you'll give it to me? Just like that?
It seems I have little choice. This is the last lead I have. In the meantime, I will return to Sassau and see what I might learn there.
What's your name, anyway?
I told you. I am Ulrich.
Just Ulrich?
It is enough.
Because you look like a knight. They seldom have just one name.
It is true. I have a horse, armor, a sword, and a shield. But there are many ways to acquire such things these days. As I am sure you know.
So you're not a knight?
I am a trustworthy soldier in the service of a nobleman. That is all you need to know.
All right then, Ulrich. Let's leave it at that. Tell me what you know about the false coins.
Do you know, Passau?
No, what is it?
A city in Bavaria. Passau is a city of trade. All the currencies in Christendom change hands there.
I see. And that would include Prague groschen?
Some months ago, counterfeit groschen were discovered to be circulating there. They are made from copper plated with silver. The Passau alderman began to investigate and learned that a family of money changers was involved. They were bringing the forged coins in from Bohemia and sending back real ones. My liege lord is allied to the Passau alderman, so they requested that he deal with the matter.
And so he sent you?
Yes. He needed a man that he could trust absolutely.
And what about that wagon? What happened there exactly?
I followed Menhard from Passau. I had reason to suspect a connection with Sassau.
Why did you let them get here before attacking?
I wanted to discover where they hand over their coins, which I failed to do. Besides, Menhard had an armed escort, and they kept 2 busy roads and lodged at inns throughout their journey, until he came to this god-forsaken track. I cannot guess why he came here, but it was the perfect opportunity to strike.
What do you mean about the connection with Sassau?
The matter was investigated in Passau, and the executioner extracted information from those who were arrested. They told him that the coins were made in a monastery.
What, in the monastery itself?
I cannot say. I know only what the Passau scribe wrote down in his reports of the interrogations.
What happened on that track?
I ambushed them. I took down 2, but that bastard Menhard cut the horses loose and rode away.
What next?
While I was chasing Menhard, those charcoal burners came and stole what they could. Before I could catch him, his horse threw him and he broke his neck.
So we won't get anything out of him?
Unfortunately not.
Very well. I'll go and see Master Fafar.
Godspeed. I will wait in Sassau at the Wagoner's Inn.
Alright. Good that we managed to avoid conflict, because he thought that we were part of that counterfeit operation, so we have to kill him otherwise. Now we need to see Fafar, which is in Rathai. Which is not close, but we should follow the quest. Didn't feel like doing any side quests right now, and maybe we could get some wheat contracted to Przemyslowiec at some point, because that would be pretty handy. I need meat, horses, stones, and grain or wheat. All of these things. Should get that eventually. And charcoal as well. Also, if we get ambushed, I would gladly take some extra equipment to sell, because I doubt we had enough for the whole Przemyslowiec. I don't care about the thief, it's 2 groschen. I think I'm going the wrong way, but at least we can order the grain. Since that's gonna be around here. It was not very good. Just have to go around.
Hey! God be with you.
What's happened here?
Things are bad. Very bad. First we get attacked by them brigands, barely come out of that alive. And now the plague.
Plague, you say?
Indeed so. Something's up with the village.
Thanks.
This is Meadowhead state, I guess. It's connected to them somehow. I just wanted to talk about the grain, but I guess it's not possible. It's also night time, so it might not help the matters. It's locked. Okay, we need to go. Just make sure we are where I think we are. Maybe you are at the wrong place as well. This doesn't look like the mill I was looking for actually. That was not good. We are in Lerečko, so we can go this way. Probably should just sleep at the mill.
Yeah.
Need to wait until the merchants open up. Just gonna buy some food and go to see Fayfire. He's gonna send us somewhere across the map again. They are coming. Just gonna take a little while.
Good day to you.
Take care
Should try to talk to Baron if possible. You have his stuff from Skellets.
How are you, Henry?
Baron's wife?
Good health to you.
This wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
My God. Where
In Skalitz.
are you saying that old man of mine is actually good for something? And do you have it all? Let me see. Let me see.
I found your silver goblet.
Just the goblet. There were groschen in there.
A groschen as well. Here you go.
Take care.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
Gunesh is nowhere to be found, which sucks. I really wanted to talk to him.
Is your wife?
What?
I found a few.
What?
Oh,
And you deserve... Here. God be with you.
Rolls and pretzels.
Good health to you.
Good luck then. Bread, beef. God's sake. God be with you.
For the kitchen or the field.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember where Fayfire is. I think it might be the lower castle, actually. Yeah, I think it's the lower castle. There.
Greetings. Goodbye. What the?
I'm glad you're here, Henry.
What's happening, sir?
Uncle Sir Hanush sent for me. No doubt he wants to give me another ear bashing about the error of my ways. And he said to bring you too.
Sakra. That doesn't sound good.
Indeed. I wonder what he wants to lecture me about this time. And you. Because you're...
Yeah, good night. Good night, Marius.
Alright, we should get going then, shouldn't we, Sir Hans? The sooner we get it over and done with, the better.
I suppose so. Right away. I put some of my old clothes in a trunk for you. I don't want you making me look bad in front of Hanush. So go and get dressed up before we head off.
Thanks, sir, but I'd rather go as I am.
You'd rather disgrace me? Well, I'm in no mood to argue with you. Come on then.
Well, my ward and his, what shall we say, chaperone?
Uncle.
My lord?
I hope we haven't dragged you away from anything too important.
Not at all, Uncle. We
like
were just...
boozing and whoring, for instance.
Uncle, I can...
Perhaps you were busy, causing mayhem in the middle of the night and beating up my subjects.
No, it wasn't... Henry and I were just...
Henry's as big a fool as you are. But he's not my ward, thank Christ. What the hell do the pair of you think you're doing? There are people in this fiefdom who work from dawn to dusk to put food on their tables, and on yours, may I remind you. And then they look at you, Hans, their lord and master, and see a drunken layabout. That fellow you beat up last night was a guard, a new guard on the town watch. And he couldn't report for duty this morning because of his injuries. I had the bailiff here complaining, and could I tell him what I really think about this whole sorry affair? Of course not. That would demean me. And you too. So I had to sit gaping like a stuffed owl and listen to his grievances. Maybe you think because you're the lord here you can get away with anything. But you're sadly mistaken, you blockhead. The lord remains a lord only as long as he commands the loyalty of his subjects. I'm sure I don't have to tell you the folk here are not exactly enchanted at the prospect of having you in charge. That was the last straw, Capon. One more of your escapades and I'll send you to your mother in Polnar. For all I care, she can dress you up like a wench and marry you off to some Hungarian.
Uncle, that arson Archibald tried to murder me. What was I to do?
Oh, don't exaggerate. Well, I'm hardly surprised after you molested his girl and humiliated him.
I was only...
Oh, don't whine, for heaven's sake. It's about time you started taking some responsibility. I have a job for you. Maybe that will keep you out of mischief. Sir Milota of Oleshna has turned up here. Do you know him?
Isn't he Sir Bernard's cousin?
He is. He came here with a remnant of his retinue to seek refuge. He's seriously wounded.
What happened to him, sir?
His fortress Oleshna was attacked by one Wulfrin of Camburg. Milota pursued him almost as far as Neuhof and engaged with him. Unfortunately, the skirmish didn't end well for Milota.
Wulfrin of Camburg? That name is familiar.
He's kin to the Oleshna lords, too. A cousin of Bernard's and Milota's. Their family affairs are a little complicated. None of my business, of course. I just wish they'd found somewhere else to thrash out their differences.
What do you want us to do, sir?
Go and see Bernard in the courtyard. He got a report that Wulfrin pillaged some other farms around Neuhof, and he's putting a squad together to ride against him. Mind your step, though. It's a family affair. After all, maybe more to it than meets the eye. The important thing is to get that damn scavenger out of the domain. If possible, without bloodshed. I can't afford to lose any men over this business. Have I made myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Very well, Uncle.
Get to work, then.
Okay. Yeah, that's a combat quest. What he said is that in-door combat itself is not gonna take long. I think it's pretty straightforward. Just wish we could wrap it up. This long play has been going on for a long time.
Fucking bandits. I'd much rather do battle with
Good
others.
gracious.
Why? Bandits are easier to defeat, aren't they? Maybe, when you're face to face with them. But those sneaky fuckers are always hiding somewhere in the woods like animals. With the nobles, you know where you are. They have rules.
Sir Hanish sent me, Captain. I'm to join your mission. And Sir Hans, too.
Mount up, youngster, and we'll move out. Look, Capon, when we get there, I'd like you to hold back.
You can forget about that, Bernard. I'm not going on an outing. Hanish sent me to handle this matter, and handle it I will.
Yeah.
I know what you meant, Captain. Forget it.
Yeah.
Very well, Your Grace.
Listen, Bernard. About this robber. I heard some rumors.
About his being a relative of mine, Melodas?
Something like that.
We have the same great-grandfather, Urban, Baron of Oleshna. Wolfen belongs to a distant branch of my family, which, well, let's just say they bring no honor to our name.
But I heard Wolfen of Camberg was hanged somewhere in Silesia after plundering the bishop's estate.
I heard the same, only, well, I'm sure you've heard what they say about the Camberg branch of my family.
That they're cursed. Now, Bernard, don't you think I'm a little old for fairy tales?
Think what you like, but I heard it from my grandfather, and he never paid attention to old wives' tales.
I meant no offense. Tell me all about it then. After all, there's no smoke without fire, and I never heard about the Camberg clan from a member of the family.
Very well. At home, we always spoke in whispers about our Camberg relatives. When Wolfen's father, Wilhelm, came to visit, I'm almost ashamed to say it.
You can rely on my discretion, Captain. Carry on.
Well, the servants were so afraid of him that they went and hid in the barn. Father had them whipped. Even then, they wouldn't go near Wilhelm. They were afraid he'd cursed them, and I couldn't blame them.
Why's that?
Uncle Wilhelm's face was so badly disfigured, folk would cross themselves when they saw him. I was afraid of him myself as a boy.
Was he wounded in war?
No, he was born that way. See, his mother, Countess Barbara of Hogwitz, didn't want to marry Wilhelm's father, my grandfather's brother. She never wanted to bear his children. So, when she fell pregnant, they say she went to a witch to get rid of the child. Only she ended up having quintuplets. Can you imagine it? 5 babes born in one night?
Jesus Christ!
That's not all. 4 of them didn't live till dawn. Only the 5th survived. He was disfigured. Wilhelm, they say the witch cheated her, and instead of getting rid of the child, she put the devil's seed inside her.
Good Lord, how dreadful!
Well, Wilhelm carried that with him his whole life. When his own wife was in childbed, he had 7 friars kneeling in her chamber day and night. It didn't stop the rumors, though. When his son, Wolfen, was born, he looked normal enough. He turned out to be as wild as a stray tomcat.
It seems he hasn't grown out of it.
You're right about that. A few years ago, Wolfen went off to Poland, and Wilhelm got worse and worse. He cursed everything and everyone in his path, started throwing crockery at the servants. He was on his deathbed. He sent for a priest, not just to give him the last rites, because they were afraid the devil would come out of him and possess someone else. Then later, Wolfen turned up, even though he was supposed to be dead for years. There were folk who said he was dead. But that wouldn't stop the devil's spawn.
Sweet Jesus. It sounds a lot more convincing coming from you than the stories my nurses used to tell me. How are we supposed to deal with a monster like that?
Slow down. Vitus and Cyril. I sent them to scout ahead.
Those bastards will pay for this.
They most certainly will. Let's go. We have to make camp. Hamlin, we'll take 2 men and come back here later. I won't have Vitus and Cyril left as crony.
Yes, Captain.
Henry, I'm glad you came.
I have a message. Just give me a sec. Okay, back. Hey, Jake. More KCD, yeah. It is ever more KCD. This game is so long. I kinda wish I was done with it. But it's gonna take a little while longer. I'll probably try to power through it.
What do we do now?
First, we have to find out where those Horsons are holed up. According to the reports, they raided a few farms around here. So someone should go to those places and find out what they can. You should do it, Henry. My men would probably just startle them.
All right, Captain. I'll do that. Where are the farms?
One is uphill from Neuhoff, right by the woods. One here above the woods by the crossroads, directly north from our camp. God be with you.
Let's take a look at the map. So this is the hunting camp. We were in with Capon, which is nearby Tallenberg. Just to find it. Is it this place? No, we should focus on where to find the bad people. Check, I do know that. It's just, where is Neuhoff? Here. Maybe we take a look at the quest first. How is it marked? Yep, alright. Where is A? Scout out Southern Farm. This one is it. Yeah, okay. So there is Ujits and there is a lake. This one is there. I think that's the one. Unfortunately, I don't really remember where this is exactly, but should be fine. Just come out of the forest this way. Oh yeah, that's it. This is it. Gonna have to convince the peasants to cooperate, but that should be fine.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
Captain Bernard sent me. It's about that attack.
Well, they came, took everything they could, and rode off again. I don't know what else I can tell you.
We're trying to catch up with that gang, so I need to hear every detail you can tell me.
What do you want to know?
How many of them were there?
2 or 3. I'm not sure. My head's still in a spin.
She's lying.
Which way did they go?
I don't know. I wasn't watching. My husband made me hide indoors, and I only saw them through the window.
So your husband was outside?
Yes, he tried to parley with them.
What did they take?
Not much. We haven't a pot to piss in, which I told them in no uncertain terms as soon as they came here.
So you're telling me they came here, you told them there was nothing worth taking, and they just rode off again, without further ado?
More or less.
It's lies.
Alright, I'll be on my way.
No. Okay, again.
But just a while ago, you told me you were indoors the whole time.
Yes. I was. Mostly.
So, were you inside or outside? Did you talk to them or not?
Well, like I say, it was confusing. I don't remember much.
Let's get one or two things straight. I'm here under orders from Captain Bernard, and that robber baron who came here crippled his cousin and killed 2 of his men.
What's that got to do with me?
Just so you know, the captain is very keen to see justice done, and it would not be wise to obstruct him.
My God, what have I done to deserve this?
So, what really happened here?
First, promise me you'll get rid of them.
That's exactly what I'm here for.
They came a few days ago, took a pig and a sack of apples. We put up no resistance. I noticed one of them had an injured leg, so I offered to treat it for him.
The voice acting is all over the place. Yeah. What is this woman's delivery? Oh, she's lying, so I guess the lines are kind of messed up.
Why would you help those cutthroats?
They didn't behave violently towards us, and I thought it would be best to keep them happy. At least they left me some apples.
Go on. What happened then?
They rode off, and I prayed we'd seen the last of them. Only the same evening, they came back again. One of them had been wounded, and they wanted me to take a look at him. They gave me some coin and took me to their camp. And in the morning I came home again.
So you know where they're camped? I'd like you to lead me there.
I won't go to their camp, no. But I know of a place where you'll have a good view of it.
That'll do me.
Goodbye.
Okay, fast travel. I have to kill them all myself. I'm not telling anyone. It would be just a waste. Not to mention finding it without fast travel is gonna be a pain.
I'm not going any further.
Thanks. And don't worry, I'll deal with those bastards.
I pray you do.
Save scam. It's unlikely I'll die, but I had a crash earlier and it sucked. So let's just make sure. And of course, I just ended up being stuck here. Can we go through? Yeah, okay.
What's that? Well, I never. And the pig turns up willing.
Can we shoot this guy? It's not dead. No, he is.
Over here! Where is everyone? Quick! Well, raise the alarm! Watch out! Alarm!
Come here.
Okay, my shield is unequipped. That's not good.
Oh, Christ! You're way off.
I'm not used to fighting without shield.
Is that the best you can do?
Now you're fucked.
Okay, axe.
Bring it up.
Counters are so broken in this game. Need to stab him in the face. Yeah. Is the archer here as well? I don't think so. Going to equip the shield. Going to repair our stuff. Still will need more money for Przemyslowiec, I think. That's Wolflin. What does he have? Crappy helmet. Not much of this is worth it. I have better things. Well, you can sell it to fuel the Przemyslowiec things.
Just when I wanted to vent my rage on something.
This guy had a bow on him. Gonna have to take that. Is that the... yeah, the woman who led us here. Hey, woman. Do you ascribe to the theory that this was an Oblivion mod at one point? I don't think so. I wasn't even aware that's a theory. It sounds so stupid. Marigold decoction. Yeah, we have a bunch of it. Just stashed on the horse. All of it. There are some other fallen in their camp. Gonna have to search that as well. I think the horse might not be able to carry everything. This is a lot of stuff. Yeah. Well, it kinda sucks. Hey, friendly computer. This is the weirdest mod Victoria 3 I've ever seen. It's KCD. Yeah, more bad people.
Hey. Well, I never. The pig turns up willing.
Okay, switch weapons. Good archery. It's not difficult when they are unaware. Or even if they run at you in a straight line, it's not much to it. just about the quality of the bow. You need to one shot, two shot them. I'm gonna get slaughtered here. Okay, let's just try and murder that guy. Come on, just let me finish him off. I think he ran off. That's the worst.
I'll slaughter you.
I'll need to kill them all for the quest. Why am I murdering these people? These aren't people, they're bandits. No, they aren't. It's fair game. Whenever the game marks someone, oh, it's bad people, I will absolutely murder them. I don't care about their reasons. If the game says you are a bandit, you are going to die. I don't care. It's all about what the game says, nothing else. No, go away. People have to eat. They don't have to murder and pillage. They can do other things. Like slave away in the fields to get their gruel. I don't care. But if the game says you are a bandit, you are going to die. That's how it works. Also, I'm gonna just absolutely loot everything. It's gonna slow me down, but it doesn't really matter. Can you pronounce Groschen for him? Groschen. It's how the people in the game pronounce it. It's kind of difficult to translate a word like that to English, I imagine, so... It sounds really different, but in Czech it's grosze. So you would have 3 groschen, would be mám 3 groše. I think the guy is gonna run away from me. I was curious how the game did the pronunciation, considering they speak English. Well, yeah, I guess it's supposed to sound like that, it's just weird. I think the guy is just not... he doesn't want to fight me. And I'm so overloaded I cannot, so... The thing to do is... I'm gonna just hide here. And I will wait for an hour. And then see if he comes back. Because I think the quest is about wiping out the entire robber band. Might have to kill every single one. He is not here. But let's take a look at the quest itself. Report back. Okay. Also check out this. More stuff. I'm already overloaded, so we can take it. Oh, there he is. There he is. I can see him. Just not sure if I will be able to snipe him. If he starts running away, he will totally escape.
What's going on?
Over his shoulder. No. Can you kill him? Well, that didn't hit him, I don't think. It's fine. Unfortunately, there is an arrow spread of sorts, so even if you aim really well, sometimes the arrow will just not go where you want. Unless you are at 20 archery, which is immensely difficult to grind in this game. You would have to spend hours shooting people. There he is. It's gonna make us more money. Now we need to get out of here and report back to Bernard. There we go. I was so lucky to find this place so quick.
Good day. Wolflin's already dead.
Are you serious? How do you know?
That's easy. I killed him myself.
But what happened?
Well, I figured if Wolflin was dead, his gang would disband. So I killed him.
Jesus Christ! Are you mad, Henry? You went there on your own?
Yes.
Right. Well, I suppose I should go and see for myself. You'd better ride to Ratai and report to Sir Hanush. He won't believe his ears.
Yes, Captain.
Friendly computer says, I like killing people in their sleep, but it is difficult to know if they are instant or bandit when they are sleeping. Like, I found a bunch of people sleeping in a barn behind one of the inns. I killed 4 of them in their sleep, and the 5th one got and called guards. How was I supposed to know they weren't bandits? Well, that's a bit good indication. If it's anywhere remotely nearby a city, usually it's not bandits. Also, you always can see who they are if you hover over them. I suppose you meant it as a meme, but there is no excuse. You are one of the bad people. One of the bad people who play this game, like Jake. Therefore, I have nothing more to say to you. Gonna go and become your famed murder hobo to your heart's content. Are we in Sasa? I think we are. No, this is freaking Ujits. Okay, I'll just sell it. And I can always see what they are, but I like role-playing, so my character wouldn't know that. If you would like role-playing, you wouldn't do any of these things you just mentioned. Because the story intentionally shoehorns you into being a nice guy, you need to go out of your way to be a freaking asshole. But to each his own, no judgment. It's a game, you can play it however you'd like. That's why the game offers you freedom to do so, and it should, because options are always good. Same sort of deal as me playing CSA in Ultimate General. You know? You side with the Lord and do his bidding. He is your rightful Lord, that's for one. It's freaking medieval era, so this is the government, if you are not aware of it. So it's the law, it's the rules, everybody lives by them. So yes, you are the nice guy. even if the government says go and murder these people because they are bad people, it's the freaking government here, so it's a good thing to do.
God be with you.
That's how it works. That's how world works. People 100, 200 years from now will look on us as freaking barbarians. So that argument is kinda null and void. Just, if you are in Rome, behave like Romans, you know? I think that's a saying. And I think it's true. Need to integrate yourself into the medieval society. It's fine. It's gonna be so much stuff to sell, let's just get it over with. Any weekend plans? Not really. I think tomorrow I want to go on a nice walk around here, maybe into the woods. I'm gonna take the cats on a leash outside, but not gonna bring them to the woods because sometimes people go there with dogs, so they wouldn't like that. And then I'm probably gonna play something. Not sure what yet. And you? Do you have anything interesting coming up? I guess more Wiki 3. Some people have been binging on it real hard. Will was going outside, but she tries to eat everything. Yeah, my cats do the same thing. They also want to eat all the nettles and all the things. Usually doesn't go very well for them. Just a little nibble. But it's just you hanging around all the plants with them. Well, it gets really boring real quick. I think we could also sell him some of the jewelry. No.
Hey!
No, I have a shitty job on Monday, so I'm just trying to ignore all of it. Do you already hate your job? It sounds horrible. I thought you found a new one. I also have a shitty job on Monday, most likely. But for me it's been like that for a while. And it's my last month, so I know it's gonna go away fairly soon. Humans, I don't care. I'm a security guard. It's not challenging or rewarding in any way to people I work with. Don't take that job seriously, so it makes it difficult to do a good job. Well, yeah, it's like, at least, I'm not sure about Canadian security guards, but in here, most of the people who are doing the security job here usually are either foreigners or people who cannot find anything else, so they rarely take it seriously. Like, I think there are like two groups actually. You have people who don't give a shit and they will move on very quickly usually, and then you have the like ultra serious security guard who will like go to and from work with his uniform and all his things. Like, it's sort of like mall ninja, so this is like mall cop thing. I think it's a meme as well. I think you want to be somewhere in the middle of that scale. But it's hard to motivate people to do these sorts of jobs well, since people, like there's surplus amount of people who would do these jobs here, so they the corporations can get away with offering them very poor salary, and that results in people not caring, because why would you if you know you are gonna move on eventually anyway and they are paying you poorly. But that's the free market of jobs, right? That's how it works. Just it's not only security guards, it's any number of professions. Especially since this doesn't really require, like, if they had an investment in it, they might be motivated to keep the people around, but even the employers usually will let people go quite easily because they know they can just hire someone else off the street, usually. Which, if that would not be the case, maybe they would be mindful and would like to keep people for longer. Are we going the right way? I think we are. I'm just used to being a soldier, because the Canadian army is, let's say, underperforming. I wish I was a proper soldier, not like a security guard. It's not the whole thing. Well, yeah, that must be difficult coming from a military job. I know you were a soldier, which must feel bad coming from that to doing the security job. I think you can do better. But, you know, everybody needs to put bread on their table. So, if it's just a temporary thing for you, might be fine, but doing it long term might be bad for you, even in terms of, like, being happy. Because that job just sucks, you cannot do anything. If there is someone who is really bad, and you need to deal with them, you are very limited in terms of what you can do. Well, I mean, you can call the cops, which you need to do, but then if he says like, oh yeah, I'm just going, you cannot stop me, well, you really can't. It just sucks. Unless he's done something real bad, of course. At least that's how it works here. You need to have a good cause as a civilian to stop someone forcefully from leaving an area. Needs to commit a felony or something like that. Was I supposed to talk to Hanish? Right. Is he here? No. Might have to take a look at the map. Maybe he's somewhere else. Yeah, he's at the lower castle. Trying to get work at Public Safety or Global Affairs Canada and work on something I care about, but I'm a bit homesick for army. Yeah, I mean, it would probably not be a bad job to do those things you mentioned. But it depends, like army work is good, but at least here it's very demanding in terms of your personal time as well. So it's kind of not agreeable to have a family and be a family man with that, because you would be out there a lot. But it depends what kind of soldiering you do, because there are some jobs who are more peaceful than others. Some of them, like the worst kind of that would be going on missions abroad. Yeah, well, I still have them since I'm leaving in a month. It's all of it is still there. It's just I know that it's gonna be over soon. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm sure I'll figure something out.
Greetings.
What business have you?
It's usually tough when you leave after 10 years, just you cannot imagine anything else.
I have news from the camp, Sir Hanush.
Speak.
Unfortunately, we couldn't avoid a skirmish.
Where's Hans? I hope he's not.
There's no need to worry, my lord. Lord Capon's alive and well. Lord Capon is busy celebrating.
I feel like you would be a good soldier.
Wolfen is dead.
Well, I think I'm... From the things we talked about, I don't question many things. So probably yes.
I must say, Henry, after all that's happened recently, I'm glad something finally turned out well.
You were also in the army for 10 years.
But I think you deserve
Yeah, so you know how it feels.
Thank you, sir.
So you just cannot even imagine anything else. I just hope I'm not gonna have the similar situation when I leave, do something else for like 2 years and then feel like, oh, I should go back and do that job again. No. I'm just gonna do my best to stay out of it. Even if it will mean that I'm gonna struggle financially a little bit, I want to do something that I actually enjoy. I was enjoying my job for like 8 years, but the past 2 years have been just horrific in terms of my quality of life, thanks to how much the investigation job sucks. So, you know, maybe should have stayed as a desk sergeant. I would be happy, maybe. But mistakes were made, so nothing I can do about that. You also got on an armor piece. Is it good? It's worse than this, but it's nice. Let's not switch. If you're anything like me in my situation, you'll miss the job, but won't miss the organization. Yeah, I think we talked about it as well. There is some not bullying straight up, or like there is bullying in the boot camp or academy or whatever, but then at the job itself, the organization itself doesn't feel like it's healthy. At least here I talked about how many people have up and left, especially in this time when we have quite a bit of turmoil. People just don't want to do it anymore because the stuff they are coming up with is just dystopian. I don't feel like I even want to be part of that anymore because I don't agree with many of the things that are being enforced. So that's one part of it. Okay, what do we do now? I need to talk to freaking Fafar. Where is he? Lower Castle. Alright. Oh yeah, and he has another quest for me, Capon. It's not good. I don't want to get into that yet. That's a DLC thing. That's also DLC. I think he's on the lower floor. And I mean, you could always come back to the job, right? Yeah, there is this disconnect between the army that I was taught exists and the sad reality of what it has become. Oh, it sucks. It's the same deal with law enforcement too. Like, they put all these ideals in you at the academy, and of course you come to the job with your own imagination of how things are, and then it just keeps eroding away as you come to find how the real thing is. But I was fine with that as long as I could make a difference in terms of how I conduct myself. But when I was stuck in the office and doing menial investigation job, it just became that I felt like I'm not making a difference. So I just didn't like it. Death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah, it doesn't happen instantaneously. That's the deal with it. Where is the man? I guess it's here. He's here. Yeah, this is his office. Let's talk to him.
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
Master Fafar, Sir Radzig sent me to you.
Did he? He must think highly of you.
I do the best I can.
That's good, because this is damned important. Silver's our most valuable asset.
How can I help with these, evil forebodings of yours?
Sir Radzig may make light of it, but a large quantity of silver has been discovered hereabouts, and no one is guarding the Skullets mines, the most likely source.
You really think someone could be stealing the silver from the mines? I would have thought that
It's nice to talk to you about this. Yeah, I'm also glad to talk about it, since I'm still going through it, sort of.
Check out not only the mine gallery, but also the yard with the smelter.
But ever since I put in my resignation, I feel a lot better already.
If anything looks suspicious.
I hope that you will come to find another job that would suit you, because I think you are wasting your potential at this security job. I mean, I don't want to like shit on that job specifically. I mean, there are a bunch of people who do it well and who just don't want to do anything else, really. But I think for you, you might find something in the government that would be better. The public safety sounds enticing, I think. No, that's fine. I'm not even hyped about playing it too much. I just need to get through it as a long play. And not many people around anyway since the wiki craze, so it's fine to discuss things. I don't mind it at all. Always glad to have you around.
That's the one. I don't know what state it's in now. There used to be a stock of charcoal and smelted silver there.
A silver store? Could there really be any left?
I doubt it. I'd be surprised if it was still standing at all.
What about these waterworks? What's there?
A stamping mill and washing troughs. They're on the bend in the river below the castle. You can't miss them. There are big tanks and equipment all around.
I want to use my ID and modern warfare training to help people some way, but it's tricky. Yeah, I mean, I think a removal of mines worldwide has become such a huge issue that there is like limitless potential for work, but it's all abroad. As a specialist, you could just go on missions and be sent abroad to do that. It's dangerous, but pays well, I guess. And if you like it, might be the way for you. But it means that you would struggle to keep a functioning family, most likely, because you would all be traveling a lot. Like a year here, a year there.
Should I be expecting trouble then?
Well, I definitely wouldn't treat
the other part would be if you do government job for safety, you could do law. You could actually do law enforcement and enlist as a pyrotechnician to search for IDs and disable them if they are found, and dispose of munitions and things like that, because law enforcement have need for that all the time. I've always wanted to go and learn in Kosovo. Apparently there's where Europeans learn it, for sure. Like Balkans are the place in Europe that still have a lot of mines.
Christ above! I want a lot of them clapped in irons.
The lot of them? How many are there? A dozen? 2 dozen? How am I to arrest them all?
Yes, you're quite right. It'll be enough to take Nemoy. He's a serpent leading the others on the path of evil.
So I should look in the mine, and if anyone's there and I find Nemoy...
Our police is also in turmoil, yeah. I think that's the state of the West currently everywhere, unfortunately. But doing the pyrotechnician work is actually kinda remote from the regular problems, usually, at least here, because you don't even come into contact with the worst of it. Usually you just do your job and you are called to scene when something is needed, but in general you wouldn't be called to put down unrest or anything like that. Which that's usually bad, because especially if you tend to either agree or think that the people should express their opinions and you are called to crack down on that, it usually is pretty bad. Oh wait, I also wanted to talk to him about something else. I'm gonna have to do that. We have the letter. Can only imagine, yeah. I mean, being in the army doesn't really help it much, because if there is a significant level of unrest, even the army is called to help. That's what happened even during the first terror attacks. Army was sent to help law enforcement in cities, guard key infrastructure and things, and they
Master Fayfar,
didn't really like that much.
I found out something about the counterfeit coin.
Did you really? Do tell.
Close to Rovna, I came across a wagon that was transporting the false coins. Unfortunately, I came too late. The carter and his men were dead.
Damn and blast. Do you know who did it?
Yes. A certain knight turned up there. Turned out he was also after the forgers.
Well, that is indeed unexpected. Tell me, what did he say?
The Liberal government just recently refused to call the army in for the trucker occupation of Ottawa. Yeah, I heard about that. Which I kind of agree with. I mean, yes, they shouldn't really do that if the law enforcement can handle it. And they probably were reluctant to go straight up to like martial law, which I don't think that situation demanded martial law. It was a shit show, yeah. Like, you just let them get along with it without, like, they impacted the infrastructure severely, I think. So in terms of that, they should, as a government, negotiate. That's what they should done, because cracking down and arresting people would cause further outrage. Maybe the deal would be to go there personally as your PM and just negotiate. Maybe he's done that, I don't know, but that sounds like the logical thing to do. Find a compromise, or at least, if not compromise, then find a way to make the leadership back out.
His name is Ulrich. He looked like a knight, but he refused to show his master's colours.
Ulrich, you say? Could be anyone. Can you describe him?
An older man with a moustache. But for all his grey hairs, he seemed pretty tough to me.
Doesn't match anyone I've heard of. But then we don't even know if Ulrich is his real name.
He told me that the fake money was being taken to Passau in exchange for gold coins. Then that real money was being brought back to the Bohemian lands.
That would explain why those fakes bear the Passau countermark.
His master is allied with the Passau alderman, and they told him to sort it all out.
I wonder who could be behind it all.
The problem with negotiating is that they made really crazy demands, like change US laws, PM resignation, government paying for their gas, ending health restrictions, double Christmas. Yeah.
He gave me these documents to show you. He seemed to think they.
But, you know, getting people to the negotiations, even if they are not gonna lead anywhere, it might actually soften them up and make some people leave the protest. And then you could do a token thing.
The place of origin is a monastery in the land of Bohemia. Which certainly confirms my suspicion that something underhand is going on.
It's certainly better than letting it fester, I think. But what do I know? These are the best of the best from our society. We pay to do their job as politicians, so they certainly know better, right?
I'll have to study it more closely. We command Herr Ulrich to investigate and let no man stand in his way. This looks like the original safe conduct.
Of course.
It has the seal of the Passau alderman, but they certainly didn't pen this.
How do you know?
I recognize the hand. It's a Clement of Kaplitz, the high scribe of the Rosenbergs.
The Rosenbergs? Who's that?
A rich and powerful family in South Bohemia. Burgrave Henry III is a great rival of our King Wenceslas.
So what does all this mean?
Well, it certainly explains why your knight is so mysterious. Anyway, we should be careful. And we shall begin our investigation. The documents show they use silver amalgam for coating copper fakes. That's a lead we can follow.
What?
Silver amalgam. It's produced from quicksilver and silver.
Well, that doesn't sound like something just anyone can get hold of.
You're quite right. You will go to Sasso at once. Look around the forges in the city. Someone must be working copper for them. I, meanwhile, will take counsel with Sir Radzik and then follow after you.
Where shall we meet?
At the inn on Sasso Market Square.
It was also weird. We had a liberal mayor, conservative PM, and liberal PM, and they all blamed each other, and the cops did nothing. Well, that's what I was kinda hinting at. I think politics are just a massive mess. It's just It feels like we are so paralyzed by our current system, it's just incapable of handling anything. It feels like freaking late Roman Republic, where we squabble amongst each other. It's like the textbook examples of this, which happened here, in terms of like hearing, when somebody wants to push through legislation, and so they would present it to the parliament, and the parliament would go, oh yeah, we need to discuss this, and somebody who didn't agree, he couldn't persuade people to not vote on it, so the thing he does, he comes in there and he talks and talks and talks and talks and finds a loophole to talk again, and then it has to be adjourned, and then they say, oh yeah, we have another meeting, and he does the same thing over and over and over again. This is precisely what Cato did to Caesar when Caesar wanted to push his legislation through. And how did it end up? In a huge, massive, bloody civil war. In here, it didn't go that far, of course, but people got incredibly pissed at each other and refused to cooperate. So the government is basically paralyzed because it cannot really do anything with itself because it's at war with itself. And regular people who put in the votes are just seeing this and going like, what the fuck? The system is so broken. Okay, that's an ambush, I think. Right? Why did I fall off? Might have been just a bug. Might have been a branch or something. Because I don't see any bad people. Hey Kane. Must have been the wind. Yeah, clearly. I think it was a bug. I thought I ran into a tree, but I really didn't. It's alright. As long as it doesn't do a CTD, I'm fine with it. Because we did have that before, and it was not good. So, what about you, Kane? Did you play more Heroes? I didn't see any streams, so probably not, right? We have the new map version, so I guess if you wanted to do the co-op, yeah, could play together at some point, even though it might be a little bit difficult in terms of performance. I think it could be fun, even though you're gonna have to carry me. I'm not very good at Heroes. Might have seen that. Do you prefer some co-op on the new, or should I continue the old save? I would prefer to play with you on the new version we made. It reminds me of how people review movies and TV these days. It seems like it always either this is the most amazing expression of diversity and inclusion, or this is the worst movie ever, Vogue Cinema edged again. But it's difficult to find a review that actually attempts to properly review anything. It's just a platform to repeat their own values. Well, yeah, like, you have groups that are trying to enforce their point of view, and they are using these things as means of transfer of these thoughts upon the rest of the people who are there for the entertainment of it. Regardless of any of these groups which you might find yourself in agreement with, it's an abhorrent practice because it politicizes entertainment, which is the worst, because why do you come to entertainment things, games, cinema, whatever? You come there to be at peace from freaking politics, and if there are politics in it, regardless of the politics in question, I'm gonna be mad about it because I don't want to think about these sorts of things when I'm playing my games. So yeah, I think we should be free of that, but clearly we haven't been able to do that, which makes me angry. I think we have come a long way as a society, and we should really be capable of doing a little separation between these two things.
Henry's coming to see us.
But unfortunately it has become more and more apparent that we are just incapable of dealing with that. Speak with Ulrich, find out who works copper. Right, it's the inn, and we need to speak to blacksmiths in and around Sassau. So, there are a couple of people in here we can talk to. I think it's like 5 people in total in Sassau who can do it. I don't remember which one does it. Gonna be a little investigative. Oh, of course it is, but that doesn't stop them from pushing through their message. Heroes 5. I made a map of Lord of the Rings for Kane, and it can be played in multiplayer. I just need to switch the names of the files.
Do you ever work with copper here?
Yeah, but we didn't play that together yet.
If I wanted to,
Yeah.
Zach from the Monastery Craftsman's Yard has bought...
I did some fixing as well. It had some problems.
What can you tell me about the Sassau blacksmiths?
There's too many of us, I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah, for sure.
This is only a small town. There's Zach, who has a forge in the Craftsman's Yard and mostly works on the construction of the church. And then, apart from me, there's Master Armourer Otter of Ramstein.
Tell me more about Zach.
Don't have much time for him myself. He knows his craft, no question. But he seems to think his son, Vitus, will be a master armourer in Prague one day.
My father was a blacksmith, and I expect he thought much the same about
I hope I can arrange some time, although I'm often busy, or not in an appropriate place, time to go. Yeah, it's fine. You can just let me know on Discord, and I'll try to make sure I have time for it.
Can you tell me something?
I think I'm more flexible than you in that case, so if you manage to find a spot, just let me know. I'll see if I can do the same.
The same as draws all reasonable people. He's enjoying the peace and quiet. Or rather, he used to enjoy some peace. That dispute with Zach must have put a few more wrinkles on his brow.
What are Zach and Master Otter arguing about?
Zach had his boy Vitus trained as an armourer in Kuttenberg, and he wanted to buy out Otter's place for him. Except that Otter's a proud man. How would it have looked? A master armourer giving way to a young whippersnapper who's barely let go of his mother's skirts? And they've been arguing ever since. Well, Zach mostly. He badmouths Otter every chance he gets. He claims that he's only fit for mending pots, and that his son will see him off.
That will be all.
God be with you.
Okay, so another blacksmith. Right here. It's actually a swordsmith.
Good day to you.
I need a skilled swordsmith in Pribyslavitz who'll put good, strong steel in my men's hands. Are you interested?
What? Now? When I'm on the verge of forging the most powerful...
Yeah, he needs to complete the side quest first. That's fine. Now for the copper working, it's gonna be the one that's nearest, maybe. The other one I can think about. Okay, it's too late. That is unfortunate. I guess you're gonna have to come in the morning. Can at least go to the inn now. Oh no. Okay, I didn't get knocked out.
I'd like to strangle that face of an
So, what did Master Pfeiffer have to say?
I consulted him and we definitely have a starting point.
Tell me more.
Master Pfeiffer found out they need copper sheets for the core of the coins and quicksilver for the the other part.
I see. They have such materials at the monastery.
Exactly. That's why I'm interested in the local forges.
Yes, that is good. Yesterday, I heard people from the craftsman's yard by the monastery complaining. They said they could not sleep at night because the blacksmith works all the time till dawn.
I see. That's certainly worth asking about. Have you heard anything else?
You said they use quicksilver. There is a painter lodging here who is painting the church in Ujits. I heard him complain also. He said that he went to the monastery for quicksilver and it was all gone.
Well, that's something to follow up as well.
Quicksilver is mercury. Fresco painter.
I'll be right back with that.
I'll be with you.
Just as you ordered.
I hear you've had some problems with the supply of quicksilver.
Problems? I should say so. For the third time this month, they've told me they've none. There's no quicksilver to be had, they said.
And who exactly are you talking about? Who's holding back the goods on you?
The monastery overseer, or his assistant, more like.
So what did the overseer have to say to you?
Nothing. Apparently he doesn't deal in such trifles. Leaves it all to his assistant, the pompous git.
What do you need quicksilver for?
I don't. They do. To mix up the red pigment for me. I'm painting the church in Ujits. Can you imagine how stupid those biblical scenes look without red?
Not really.
Then be glad you can. My eyes hurt just to imagine it.
That's all I need to know for now.
Ah. But wouldn't you care to buy something before you go?
One beer for me.
Or play a game? I really need some money. I've been waiting here a while and my stay's getting expensive.
Why not? Show me what you have to offer.
Good luck to you.
Tavern Life 2 is alcoholism. There's a map. Okay, we know about some stuff we need to investigate in the morning. I also should buy some food.
Jesus Christ, be... God be with you.
Okay, we read the book on drinking. The parts for drinking are usually pretty bad, but it's a perk point, so you should fiddle around with it. Gonna have to wait a couple of hours so that the blacksmith is at work. And I think we'll just talk to him and then wrap it up. I'm gonna play some more StarCraft Mobius mod after this. I need to play a strategy game. Just wanted to get through with some of these quests for the KCD long play. Has been going on for ages at this point. It really needs some progress. This guy.
Good day to you. What do you need?
Do you work any copper here, Master Blacksmith?
Why'd you ask?
I'd want to commission you to make something.
Then you'd best go elsewhere. I never use copper.
Aha. So back to that copper.
What?
That's not what I...
What?
I was told in town that you bought all the other blacksmith's copper.
I'm being made a fool of yet again, it seems. Anything else? I still have work to do.
Okay. So he denies it. Is there any material we could investigate? Well, there is this thing, which is locked off. Might have to come back at night. I'm gonna try to break into it. Maybe we don't need to know. It's too difficult anyway. Maybe some people could hint us.
What? What in the...
Can we talk? No. Okay, you need to talk to the guy, the assistant at the monastery now. Overseer's assistant. Means he's gonna be upstairs, I think, in the office. Overseer's hand, that's him.
I hope I can be of help to you.
Do you have any quicksilver in stock?
Who's asking?
I'm here on behalf of the master fresco painter. He said you sent him away empty-handed 3 times already.
Then I don't have any.
That sounds almost as if you don't want to sell it to me.
It's not that I don't want to. It's that I can't.
Okay, what's the best choice?
Bollocks. Tell me this instant what you've done with the goods.
Nothing! And I'd advise you to calm down. We're on hallowed ground.
You're a fine one to speak of hallowed ground. A lying thief in monastic robes. What next? A whore dressed as a nun?
This is blasphemy!
I'll give you blasphemy. I'm sure you know what our Lord did to the money changers in the temple.
What do you mean? You're not going to hurt me, are you?
Tell me what's going on here and I won't have a reason to.
Jesus. But I didn't know anything about any counterfeiting.
For your sake, I hope that's true. Now tell me what's been going on.
I swear, I wouldn't normally do anything like that.
Get to the point.
They came for me at noon. Directly to the office. The overseer was somewhere on his rounds. Some night, it was. Without a crest. Armed. He called himself Sir Jezek, and he had a lackey with him called Rapota. A scruffy fellow with a yellow cape. Always whistling he was. They told me they wanted all the quicksilver we order for the monastery. Of course, I told him that wouldn't be possible.
And then what? Did they threaten you?
Not at first. They tried to bribe me, and when I refused, they started threatening.
How did you hand it over to them?
I take it up the hill behind the monastery here. There's a big tree there with a small chapel underneath. Sometimes Rapota is there waiting for me. If not, I leave it there.
What did they threaten you with?
They said they know people in the monastery. That they'd have me thrown out and beaten for stealing.
And you had been stealing? I mean, before then?
You know how it is. I work my fingers to the bone and they pay me a pittance.
So they knew about you?
Yes, they knew my name, everything.
Very well. Thank you.
Farewell.
Let's take a look at the map. Very far. Yep, okay. Is it not here? Maybe it's camped somewhere else. I was thinking it's this deserted building. Maybe not. Yeah, let's just go and search again. There it is.
Fucking weather, fucking.
Why are you just sitting around?
Why not? Admiring the view. People just do not appreciate a lovely view these days.
Does the name Rapota ring any bells for you?
Rapota, you say? Rapota. No, I can't hear any bells ringing at all.
Look, you little jester, I'm investigating a crime against the king on the direct orders of Sir Radzig. Are you really going to keep pretending you don't know anything?
Hang on! What's all this about a crime against the king? I'm just keeping an eye on things. When a wagon comes in, I make sure nobody robs it. I get a commission for that, that's it.
See? That didn't hurt a bit. Bit of friendly advice. You're wasting your time here. Rapota's scarpered and won't be coming back this way anytime soon. You might as well pack up and go home.
What? That bastard owes me a dozen groschen. Damn it! Now what? Well, no use hanging around here anyway. In any case, thanks for the information. I could have been stuck here for weeks.
Bandit. And another bandit. I should kill him.
Is that the best you can...
Just some food. It's alright. Let's take a look at the quest. Still have to find out. Right. Need to talk to Fayfar and also to the blacksmith. You need to sell the key that we've got. Money is gonna be useful for Přemyslovec once we make our way there eventually. But I want the resources first, so that would be stone and wheat, I think. Maybe charcoal as well. So we can construct some new buildings. We'll finally make us some money.
Farewell.
Tavern life is red, so let's sell it. Sell that. Okay, and let's 7 quit. Gonna play some more StarCraft in a minute. We are only 4, so no sense raiding anyone. But anyways, thanks for watching and see you around. Bye.